So if you look at my what I've presented here, I've displayed both of the question, okay, from the workbook and also your notes, okay. So this this is to make it easier, okay, for you and for us to discuss on this tutorial question, because it is easier for you to do the question when you have a diagram, okay, beside you, right? Okay, so if we look at the first part of this chapter 6, okay, which is part A on multiple choice question. It says here lymph nodes, okay, is A. Okay, so you have to know basically what is lymph nodes. Okay, so lymph nodes is basically one of the organs of the lymphatic system. Okay, so the lymphatic system, it is consists of several organs, which is you have the lymph nodes, you have the spleen, the tonsil, and also the thymus. Okay, so those are the organs of the lymphatic system, and also you have to know that it is consists of lymphatic vessels as well. Okay, you have the lymphatic capillaries and also lymphatic vessels. For lymphatic system, they do not they do the they do not have lymphatic arteries or lymphatic veins. Okay, that one it is for your blood vessels. So blood vessels, you have three types. You have the artery, you have the vein, and you have the blood capillaries. But as for the lymphatic system, you have the lymphatic capillaries and also lymphatic vessels only. Okay. So for question number 1, it says here lymph nodes is a capsule. Okay, is a capsule that is filled with B cell and also T cell. Okay, so if you refer to your notes here, okay, so it is the in the part of lymphatic system. Okay, so tengok consists of lymphatic capillaries, lymphatic vessels, dia tak ada artery or veins. It has the lymph nodes and also lymphatic organs, spleen, thymus, and also tonsil. Here, okay. So if the answer for number 1 is D, okay, capsule that is filled with B and T cell capsule. It is a capsule that shapes like a kidney bean, something like that. It is really small. Okay, it is small, which is 2.5 centimeter. Okay. So as you can see, it is the place to filter the lymph by trapping foreign particles, microorganism, and also tissues. It's those lymphocyte. Nampak tak lymphocyte kat sini? So this one is referring to the B and the T cell. So lymphocyte, we have both B cell and also T cell. Okay, B and also T cell that involve in the adaptive immunity. Okay, which is to attack, okay, specific foreign pathogen, okay, specific foreign pathogen. Okay, so that's why the statement D here is correct. Okay, so kalau B tu memang salah lah kan. So pathogen does not destroy the helper T cell. The function of the helper T cell that you are going to learn in chapter immune system is to activate B and T cell in the adaptive immunity. Okay, so this is to activate the humoral immune response and also the cell mediated immune response. Awak tengok kalau lymphatic system ni dia it has strong relationship with the immune system. Okay. Type of immune cells that found in the lymph. It is a type of memang salah lah kan, is a type of immune cell, not correct lah. It is an organ of the lymphatic system. That ended lymphatic capillaries is not. Okay, so this is referring to the lymphatic capillary itself. Okay, as you know, the function of the lymphatic capillaries is so that excess interstitial fluid in the tissue enters into the lymphatic capillaries and into the lymphatic vessels and end up again in your blood circulation by entering the subclavian veins. Okay, the subclavian veins, you have both the right and the left subclavian veins that are located near your shoulder area. It is nearer to your heart, so that when it enters into the vein, the lymph, okay, can enter back into your blood circulation and then pump again by by the heart throughout the body. Okay, so basically that is the function of the lymphatic system, to collect back, okay, the excess fluid that has come out of the blood vessels, okay, at the atrial end of the capillaries. Okay, so bila jantung awak tu when your heart pumps the blood into the artery, so the artery will carry blood at high pressure. Okay, so due to the high pressure, the excess fluid in the fluid, okay, within your blood plasma will enter into the interstitial fluid. Tapi bila interstitial fluid tu masuk balik dalam lymphatic capillaries, kita panggil dia sebagai lymph. Okay, so question number 2. Which organ is the site for maturation of T cell? So the answer would be, senang je lah kan, T cell. T, awak ingatlah, thymus. Okay, so thymus. So basically all of the blood cells, including red blood cells, white blood cells, they are made in the bone marrow. Okay, they are made in the bone marrow, but for the B cell, okay, it will stay in the bone marrow to become the mature B cell. But as for the T cell, okay, it will go to the thymus to mature in the thymus. So the answer will be C. Okay. So the next question here, how many percent? Okay, how many percent of cellular elements can be found in your blood? So when you take your blood sample and then you put it in a centrifuge tube, and then you centrifuge your blood sample. Okay, centrifuge is a machine that will spin your sample. Okay, in this case, is your blood sample at high speed, and separate your sample into different layers according to their densities. Okay, so the portion that is much denser will be at the bottom, and the lighter one will be at the top lah. Okay, so in this case, the cellular element is the denser part. Okay, the denser part. So it will be at the bottom of the tube. Okay, so the lighter component, the suspension, will be the plasma. Okay, so the plasma basically consists of 55%, and as for the cellular element is 45%. So the answer will be B lah. So blood plasma, okay, blood plasma, 90% of blood plasma, 90% of the 55% is water. Okay, is water. So another 10%, you have the electrolytes, the protein plasma such as immunoglobulins. Okay, so all the nutrients, the respiratory gases, okay, are also in the plasma. As for the cellular elements, okay, you have the red blood cells, you have the white blood cells, and in between that, okay, you have the a thin layer. We call it as the it composed of the platelets. So if you refer to your notes here, okay, so again, when you're doing your exercise, kan, so please refer to your notes. Okay, exercise boleh refer kepada notes ya. Exam, saya haramkan awak refer kepada apa-apa. Okay, so 55% is the blood plasma. Okay, 55% is blood plasma, and 45% is cellular element that is composed of cells. Okay, red blood cells and also white blood cells, and also cell fragments is referring to the platelets. Okay, so kalau tengok kat gambar ni, kan nampak kat sini, you have a thin layer, we call it as the platelet. So the platelets is also of the 45% of the cellular element. So jangan ingat apa yang bila awak centrifuge blood plasma ni, dia ada three separate layers. The thin layer is also part of the cellular elements. Okay, the parts of the 45% of the cellular elements. Okay. Okay, number 4. The heartbeat begins with the depolarization of the, okay, so heartbeat, in order for the heart to beat, okay, it has to contract. In order for the contraction to occur, the muscles of the heart has to generate some kind of impulse. It has to generate an action potential. So in this case is the phase, we call it as depolarization. Okay, so kita dah belajar nervous system kan. Depolarization is when in the membrane, okay, the cell membrane, the normal cell membrane, it has to be negatively charged inside of the cell. This is the cytoplasmic side. This is the extracellular fluid side. So outside it has to be positively charged. Okay, so this is the normal cell. Normal cell that is not conducting or generating any action potential. But when a cell is generating an action potential, okay, it has to change the membrane potential. Okay, it has to change the membrane potential from negative inside, it has to be positive inside. Okay, outside negative. Sebab bila kita belajar chapter chapter nervous system hari tu, bila action potential terhasil, ada positive ion yang masuk, which is sodium kan, sodium ions. Okay. Okay, so this changes the membrane potential inside of the plasma membrane to be positively charged. So this is the phase, we call it as depolarization. It is the stage where the cell is generating an action potential, the peak of an action potential here. So depolarization and then repolarization kan, repolarization, positive ion, which is potassium ion, move out of the cell. So in this case, is depolarization occurs to cause the heart to beat. So the keyword here is begin. Okay. So what is the tissue? Okay, what is the structure that is responsible to begin the heartbeat? Okay, the generation of the action potential. The answer should be SA node. Okay, sinoatrial node. Okay, so kita ada dua, SA node, okay, and also AV nodes. Okay, so you have to know the location of these two nodes. Okay, so kalau SA node, it is also known as the pacemaker. Okay, so pacemaker, why? Because it is where the initial action potential is generated for the heart to be able to contract or to beat. Okay. So if you look at your notes here, okay, the structure of the heart, mana ada tunjuk structure? Sekejap. Okay, conduction of the heart. Okay, so if you refer to your notes here, so this is the location of the SA node. Okay, SA nodes. Okay, it is at the atrial, the right. Okay, the right atrium wall near the entrance of the superior vena cava. Okay, so this is the superior vena cava. As you know, this the superior vena cava, it allows the oxygen poor blood to return back from the upper part of your body. Okay, from the upper part of your body, oxygen poor blood will enter back into your heart, specifically into the right atrium through the superior vena cava. Okay, but for the blood that coming from the lower part of your body, okay, it will enter back into the right atrium through the inferior vena cava. Okay. So SA node is also known as the pacemaker, and you have here the AV node. Okay, so the function, the AV nodes, there will be a slight delay. Ingat dekat bila impulse ni dah generate dekat SA node, it will travel at the atrium wall and causes the atrium to contract. Okay, so when the atrium contracts, it pushes the blood into both of the ventricles. Okay, so when the impulse reaches the AV node, there will be a slight delay kat sini. Okay, there will be a slight delay. What is the purpose of the slight delay? It is to make sure that all the blood within the atrium enters into the ventricle. That is the significance of the slight delay at AV node. It makes sure that the atrium finish contracting and all the blood enters into the ventricle. So you have to know that point. Okay. Okay, so it's so the AV node here, as I mentioned, so it is again it is located here. Okay, again at the atrium wall, but near near here, near the septum here, near the ventricle. Okay, near the right ventricle. Okay, so number 5, the innermost, okay, the innermost layer of the arteries, okay, is composed of innermost. Obviously, it is composed of endothelium. Okay, so for blood vessels, artery and also vein, Okay, it has 3 tissue layers. Okay, you have the tunica, tunica intima, tunica media, and also tunica adventitia ataupun tunica externa. Okay, so for the inner layer, it is composed of endothelium. Okay, endothelium, which is the tunica intima. So outside of the tunica intima, you have a thin layer which is called as the basal lamina before it enters the tunica media. So tunica media is composed of smooth muscle. Okay, so smooth muscle is tunica media. Okay, tunica media. So if you look at your notes, it is in this part. Okay, so bila tengok soalan, you should be able to know where exactly in the notes should you find the answer. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, 3 tunics layer of blood vessels: tunica intima, tunica media, and also tunica adventitia or externa. So kalau tengok kat sini, tunica intima, it is composed of endothelium. Okay, so dia punya feature dia adalah smooth. So why is it smooth? It is to minimize resistance when the when the blood flows in the blood vessels. Okay, kalau untuk artery and vein, it has all these 3 layers. Tapi kalau untuk blood capillaries, it only has the tunica intima. It only composed of endothelium, and it is wrapped with basal lamina. Okay, so that is blood capillaries. It has to be thin. Why? Because for blood capillaries, it has to allow diffusion of substances across the blood capillaries, from blood into the interstitial fluid, into your into your body cells. Kan? Sebab kalau awak punya red blood cells within the blood capillaries, it contains respiratory gas, which is oxygen. So the oxygen needs to diffuse out of the blood capillaries. So the blood capillaries has to be 1 cell thick. It has to be very thin. Okay, so in order for the exchange of respiratory gas can occur. Okay, and also to allow nutrient to be able to diffuse out of the blood into the interstitial fluid into your body cell. Okay, so kalau blood capillaries, it has to be thin. It only has the tunica intima. But as for arteries and also vein, it has 3 layers. Okay, so as you can see, for the tunica media, it composed of smooth muscle and also elastic fibers. Okay, so why it is also consists of elastic fibers? Because for arteries, okay, it especially for arteries, it receives blood that flows with high velocity and also high blood pressure. Okay, so when the tunica media is also composed of elastic fibers, when blood flows with high blood pressure, it allows the blood vessels to stretch and also recoil. Okay, stretch is when it receives blood with high pressure when the ventricle is contracting. Okay, when the heart is contracting, especially the ventricle, so it causes the blood vessels, the artery, to stretch, and then when the ventricle relaxes, it causes the blood vessels to recoil. Okay, so this is actually what? This is your pulse. Okay, so that is how pulse is produced. Okay, by the stretching and recoiling of the arteries. Kan kita awak dah buat lab hari tu kan, kita ada certain region, okay, within your body that you can detect the pulse, such as you have the branchial arteries, okay, yang awak guna untuk detect dia dekat pelipat siku tu kan. Kalau buat ambil blood pressure, so the nurse akan detect your pulse artery. Okay, and then you have the radial artery. Radial artery yang awak guna untuk kira pulse hari tu dekat under your thumb, at your wrist area. Okay, so and then you have another common one, which is the carotid artery. So carotid artery yang dekat neck. Kalau tengok drama-drama kan, dia nak check orang tu hidup ke mati, dia check dekat nadi dekat leher tu. Okay, leher dekat ataupun dekat wrist. Okay, dekat wrist. Okay, So kalau tunica adventitia or externa, it is composed of collagen and also connective tissues. Okay, so the function of collagen is to make the structure of the blood vessel much stronger and durable. Okay, so you have to know lah the 3 layers of the blood vessels. Okay. So number 6, interstitial fluid is derived from the fluid that is forced out of the atrial end. So saya dah bagi tahu tadi kan atrial end ni. So you have your heart here, kan, your heart, the artery and also the atrium. Okay, the right atrium, the left atrium. You have the right ventricle, you have the left ventricle. So you have the aorta here. So when the aorta pumps, when the aorta receives blood that is pumped by the left ventricle, it enters into the aorta and also into the arteries, and then from arteries into arterioles. Okay, and then from arterioles into blood capillaries in your body tissues of your organs. Okay, so ini blood capillaries lah. Tak apa-apa nak cantik sangat. So capillaries bed. Okay, so aorta, artery, arterioles, blood capillaries. Okay, capillary beds within your body tissue. So how does the interstitial fluid is formed? Is when the blood that flows with high velocity and high blood pressures, okay, that flows from the aorta into the artery into the arteriole, it flows with high pressure. So high blood pressure. So this causes fluid within the plasma. Tadi saya cakap kan, 90% of your blood plasma, okay, is water, okay, and also other elements. So this the fluid from your blood plasma will diffuse out of your blood capillaries at the atrial end. Okay, so this will become the interstitial fluid. Okay, interstitial fluid. So this interstitial fluid, okay, the excess fluid has to return back into your blood circulation through the lymphatic system. Okay, so tak boleh nak ada continuous flow of fluid from blood into interstitial fluid, and you cannot accumulate the interstitial fluid in your tissues. Okay, it has to return back to your blood circulation through the formation of lymph. Okay, so that is one of the function of the lymph, to return back excess fluid into your blood circulation. So the answer will be D lah, okay, at the atrial end. Okay, due to the high blood pressure. Okay, high blood pressure. Okay. Okay, so number 7, fluid is driven from the lymphatic system by which one? The answer will be okay, the answer will be D lah, kan. So fluid, okay, fluid that enters yang tadi interstitial fluid kan, so the excess fluid has to return back into your blood circulation through the lymph. Okay, so when the interstitial fluid enters into the lymphatic capillaries, okay, interstitial fluid enters into your lymphatic capillaries. So this one, we don't call it as interstitial fluid anymore. We call it as lymph. Okay, lymph. So obviously the pressure of the lymph, okay, that flows in the lymphatic capillaries, the pressure and also the velocity will be very low. Okay, will be very low. So what causes the lymph to be able to move along the lymphatic capillaries into the lymphatic vessels and back into your vein, okay, into your blood circulation? So the answer will be D lah. Okay, squeezing of the lymphatic vessels by the body muscles. So if you look at your notes here, okay, there are 4 factors, okay, that will help the movement of the lymph. Okay, 4 factors. So here, number 1, you have the valve. Okay, so the lymphatic vessels, it has valve. Okay, so enlarged lymphatic vessels and also collecting vessels, it has valve. So this is to prevent the backflow of lymph. And then second is pressure gradient. Okay, so pressure gradient or blood or hydrostatic pressure. So daripada force yang akan menyebabkan pergerakan lymph tu adalah pressure yang dikenakan daripada artery ke arterioles, okay, ke blood capillaries. So dia akan tolak fluid tu forward. Okay, so that is pressure gradient lah. Okay, so lymph flows down the pressure gradient. Okay, so they akan keep on pushing the fluid, okay, the blood, the interstitial fluid, and also the lymph forward. Okay, so due to the pressure gradient. And then the third one is rhythmic contraction of the lymphatic vessels wall. Kalau awak tengok kat sini, lymphatic vessels is also capable of contraction. Macam blood vessels lah kan. You have vasodilation, you have vasoconstriction, you have the formation of pulse. Okay, so the tunica media allows the blood vessels to also contract. But in this case, the lymphatic vessels can also contract. Okay, rhythmic contraction. If you look at the choices for your answer here, okay, number 7 ni, awak tengok statement C ni. A contraction of the wall of the lymph vein. So why is this statement ni, statement C ni sama, nak dekat sama dengan statement nombor 3 ni kan? But as I've mentioned, lymphatic system does not have any vein or arteries. Okay, it only has lymphatic vessels. So kalau baca salah kan, or careless, you may answer C. C salah lah, C vein. Vein should not be vein, it should be lymphatic vessels. Okay. Kalau A salah, nodes does not, contraction of the nodes does not contribute to the movement of lymph. Pressure created by the pumping of heart, is not lah. So this one is specifically for the movement of blood, okay, along the blood vessels. So kalau tengok kat sini, another factors, kita habiskan factors kan, for the lymph movement, you have the respiratory movement. So when you inhale, you create you will cause pressure to your thoracic cavity will expand. Okay, your thoracic cavity will expand, and also this causes your blood vessels to also expand lah, macam respiratory, macam the movement of blood, okay, in the vein. So factor dia lebih kurang sama. The movement of blood in the vein is similar. The factors is similar to the lymphatic movement, okay, the lymph movement. Kalau the movement of blood in vein is due to the low velocity and also low blood pressure kan. So the low velocity of blood that flows in the vein, okay, will cause the blood to may move backward ataupun pergerakan dia perlahan. Okay, so what prevent the movement of blood backward in the vein is the presence of valve. Sama juga macam lymph kan. So dalam lymph vessels ada valve, dalam vein pun ada valve. Okay, dia punya point dia lebih kurang sama kat sini. Okay, so ada juga factors contributed by the respiratory movement. Okay, number 4, and then also muscle contraction. So kalau check, factor dia lebih kurang sama dengan the flow of blood within the vein. Okay, cuma yang ni awak kena tukar lah kan. So ada part-part yang awak kena tukar and check balik. Okay, so these factors, the factors of lymph movement, okay, the factors to enhance the movement of blood in the vein. So you have to know what are the factors. Okay, kena ingat kalau tengok soalan-soalan pasir kan. So this is one of the question that can be asked lah. So number 8. Okay, so which of the following is not true for ventricular systole? Okay, so for ventricular systole, ventricular is ventricle, systole is when the ventricle contract. Okay, so what happened when the ventricle contract? So this is referring to both right and left ventricle. So when both of these ventricle will contract at the same time, tak ada right dulu baru contract, left lepas tu contract kemudian, tak. So both of the ventricles will contract at the same time. Okay, so what happened during ventricular systole? Kita tengok one by one. So ventricular systole, obviously bukan relax lah kan, it should be contract. So the answer will be A lah. So sebab apa? Soalan dia not true. Okay, so ventricular contract, betul lah. Okay, semilunar valve open. Okay, yang ini awak kena tengok structure heart. Okay, this one you have to refer to your heart structure in order for you to to understand how it works. Okay, so kalau kita tengok structure heart awak ni, okay. Okay, awak tengok sini antara atrium, right atrium and right ventricle kita ada AV valve. Okay, antara left atrium and also left ventricle kita ada AV valve juga, cuma nama spesifik for the valve here kan, AV valve ni kita boleh panggil dia sebagai AV valve ataupun kita panggil dia sebagai tricuspid valve juga. Okay, kalau yang ini another name for AV valve here is mitral valve ataupun bicuspid valve. So when your heart, when the ventricle is contracting, okay, obviously the contraction of the ventricle, it wants the blood to move out of the heart, okay, to move out of the heart. So the blood that was in the right ventricle will enter into the pulmonary artery. So this is pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery, it goes to here, okay, the right lung and also the left lung, okay, the left lung. So it enters into the, basically into the pulmonary circuit. So maksudnya bila ventricle ni contract, obviously it has to make sure that the the semilunar valve, the semilunar valve is open, so that when the semilunar valve opens, from the right ventricle it enters into the pulmonary artery. From the left ventricles, when the semilunar valve here opens, it enters into the aorta. Okay, aorta into the systemic circuit. Okay, systemic circuit throughout your body. Okay. Kalau tricuspid valve and also bicuspid valve ataupun another term dia adalah AV valve, it has to make sure that the AV valve, both of the AV valve is closed. So both of the AV valve are closed. Sebab apa? Bila ventricle contract, dia tak nak darah tu masuk balik ke dalam atrium. Okay, tak nak darah tu masuk balik ke dalam atrium. So AV valve has to be make sure that both of the AV valve are closed. So AV valve closed, semilunar valve open. So semilunar valve, ingat ya, ada dua, satu aortic semilunar valve, another one is pulmonary semilunar valve. Aortic semilunar valve into the systemic circuit, pulmonary semilunar valve into the pulmonary circuit to the lungs. Okay, so awak kena tengoklah dia punya statement ni, kenapa each statement tu betul, kenapa each statement tu salah. Okay, kena fahamkan, sebab kalau dia tak keluar dekat objektif, dia keluar kat structure. In the structure you have to explain. Okay, so number 9. So if someone has a stroke volume of 75 ml and heart rate of 80 beat per minute, so the cardiac output will be, so first you have to know what is cardiac output. Okay, so cardiac output is the amount of blood pumped by your heart in 1 minute. Okay, the amount of blood pumped by your heart in 1 minute. Okay, so in order to get how much blood is pumped out by your heart, so you have to times these two factors together, which is stroke volume times with heart rate. Okay, so stroke volume, what is stroke volume? Stroke volume is the amount of blood pumped by each ventricle in each heartbeat. So per heartbeat. So kalau ventricle ni kan, berapa jumlah darah yang dipump keluar oleh ventricle setiap kali ventricle tu contract. So that is stroke volume. Itu awak kena tengok definition lah. Sama je awak kena fahamkan konsep lah. Tengok Okay, so cardiac output is here. Ni, cardiac output. Okay, again, you have to know where exactly in your notes to find the information. So cardiac output is stroke volume times the heart rate. Dalam secara normal ya, stroke volume is 70 ml per beat. Okay, stroke volume. Kalau definition untuk stroke volume is here. Okay, depends on the venous return is the amount of blood veins delivers to the heart. Okay, it is basically how much of the the definition. Sorry, stroke volume. volume of the blood pumped by each ventricle per heartbeat. Kan? So satu chamber ventricle tu berapa banyak jumlah darah yang dia boleh hold, which is 70 ml, okay, per beat. So kalau macam ini, okay, kalau secara normalnya orang yang normal kan, 70 ml per beat times 72 beats per minute. So you get about 5 liters, okay, 5 liters per minute. Tengok 70 ml per beat dengan 72 beat per minute. Okay, so ini cancel lah. So nanti dia akan kena, you have to include in your answer the unit as well. Kan? So kalau tak letak unit dia, salah lah, faham tak? Okay, so 5 liter per minute. So this is the 5 liter is the average amount of the blood within your body for a normal average person. Okay, so 5 liter maksudnya setiap kali maksudnya jantung awak ni dalam masa seminit dia berdenyut tu, dia akan pump the whole of your blood, okay, throughout your body. Okay, so in this case soalan dia bagi 75 okay ml per beat times dengan 80 beat per minute. Okay, so you will get about, berapa jawapan dia? Cuba kira.
6 liter per minute.
60 liter per minute. Okay, so dia ini banyak sikit lah daripada yang average. Okay, so maybe this one is the value for an athlete. Okay. So number 8, spleen is a lymphatic organs that apa? Tadi saya mention kan, kalau lymphatic organs, you have the tonsil, the lymph nodes, the thymus, okay, you have the spleen. So basically it is to filter, okay, filter the blood. Okay, spleen is the organ that filters the blood. So kalau kita tengok dekat orang punya nota, dia cakap spleen apa lagi fungsi dia? Okay, so filters the blood, prevent infection of blood-borne antigen. Okay, blood-borne antigen. So pathogen yang ada dalam apa punya darah ni, kan? So dia akan difilter ke di spleen lah. Itulah dia. Okay. Okay, so far do you have any questions?